What's up, resellers? I'm Rebecca and you're watching Rebecca the Reseller. Thanks for joining me today for yet another Poshmark closet review. I have to tell you, this has been so great. I have had this Poshmark closet review listing up in my Etsy store for quite some time and haven't really gotten a lot of traction. And just recently, I feel like I've gotten, I don't know, 4 or 5 in the last week or so. And it's been awesome because I really love doing them, and I'm really grateful for those that visit my Etsy store. It's Etsy store, it's linked down below, and those stores called Rebecca the Reseller. I've got all my reseller tools and trackers and listing forms and keywords lists, and you can purchase a closet review. And with the closet review, you get a video like this, personalized to you with all of my tips for your closet, as well as a sheet that you can print out that's specifically with all the tips for you, as well as all of my resources that I give out. So thank you so much to Kathy, who purchased a closet review. This video is for you, and for those that are watching at home, I hope you get something out of it as well. If you'd like a custom closet review for yourself, just visit the link down below, go to my Etsy shop, buy one. And I always say that it takes me about a week. As long as I don't get backed up with anything, it gets, it's usually in 2 or 3 days. So it's definitely not a long process at all. And I really do want you to succeed, and I really do get in there and give you specific tips just for you. So just know that. Go ahead and check out the Etsy store. If there's anything else that you're interested in, I've got lots of cool things and I have lots of great ideas for new stuff. So I really enjoy making these resources for you guys, and I appreciate everyone coming back to my channel from time to time to check in on what I have to say. So let's get into the closet review. Again, thank you so much, Kathy, for purchasing this. I do appreciate it, and I had a really good time looking through your store. You actually have some very nice things, and I don't know if you have just been paying attention to some of the closet reviews or you've watched some of my other videos, but I can definitely see some hints of things that you're working on that have been things that I've recommended. So that is really nice to kind of see some of those things in action. So starting off with the closet name field, you are Fun Finds by Kathy as your username, and then you have your name, Kathy. So one of the things that you would know I do recommend is to go ahead and start your name off with some exclamation points. All you have to do is change the name field and put some spaces and put some exclamation points, and you kind of have to play with it a little bit to get it quite right. But what it does is it allows your name to come up higher in the lists of other people's followers. So if you're following my closet, you right now are going to come up under K. You're going to come up under K. But if you had spaces and exclamation points in your name, you're going to come up higher alphabetically in the list of my followers. And so a lot of people go from closet to closet and follow other people's followers. And so when you're higher up on the list, you have a more chance of people following you and getting more followers that way, because a lot of times people don't go all the way down the list. And so when you're at the top, you're one of the very first closets that people see. They click on you to follow you. And again, followers don't necessarily mean sales, but when you share, it goes to your followers. When your followers are sharing from the feed, they share out to their followers, and the network kind of ripples out. So while, yes, people don't necessarily share from the feed, purchase from the feed per se, there are some impulse buyers. There are people that share from the feed, of course, to get their community shares in, and you just never know. It just builds your network, builds your exposure for your closet, and when you're on the newer side, it's definitely worth doing. I still have mine like that in my closet. Anyway, that was a long rant on that, but I felt like I hadn't fully explained it in a while, so I thought it would be worthwhile. Next up is your banner. I thought it was super cute. It's actually matches your About the Posher sign, so you can't see the whole thing here, and honestly, I'm not too worried about it. Someone can tell that it's something fashiony. Perhaps you may want to go in and actually put something that is more fit for the banner, because this is obviously a vertical image, but I don't think it does anything to take away from your closet. I think you could certainly add to your closet if you fix the header image by having the girl that you have in here she is in the About the Posher, or what is it, Meet the Posher. This is the girl that you have. So I mean, this is fine for your Meet the Posher. This is what you have here. If you can make it smaller and get her to fit in there, great. If not, it's not the biggest thing in the world. Your picture is fine. It doesn't show your whole face, but that is totally okay. Something's buzzing. So it, again, I think the thing with pictures and avatars and stuff like that, as long as it's not a negative, it's fine. It's when it's a dark picture, when it's something sketchy and weird, when it's something that doesn't make any sense. You know, if it's a picture of your dog, like things like that, that perhaps take away and detract from the positivity of your closet. Those are the things I have a problem with. When it's just you, it's never a problem because it's you. So I think that that is fine. For your link, you do have a link to the link tree, which I think is great, and it just kind of lets people go to your channel. You have a YouTube channel, so go ahead and people, go ahead if you're watching this, check out her channel. I have not yet, but it is on my list. I added it to my list to go ahead and check it out. I just haven't yet. And some of the other platforms that you're on, so it lets people kind of, you know, go ahead and connect with you more. So I think that is great. I don't think everyone has to have a link tree, but if you do, I think it is only a good thing. All-time number of listings. So, okay, so you've listed yesterday. Okay, I did your summary, the printout, this morning at like 4 a.m. And I'm recording this now at like 4 p.m. So it's been 12 hours or so since I've been in your closet. And it looks like you've listed some items, which is great. So when I looked this morning, you had 459 listings. Right now you're at 464. So good for you. You've gotten a couple up. Looks like 5, which is great, which is the amount that I'm doing right now. And so I just am starting to really recommend to people to kind of have a milestone goal in mind for yourself. So you're almost approaching that 500 milestone, which is going to be great. So definitely give yourself a pat on the back when you reach that, celebrate that. But now we want to be looking towards 1,000 listings. I'm looking ahead to my 10,000th all-time listing here soon. It is going to take me a little while, but I am excited for it. And so it's just one of those things. You should always be celebrating the milestones that you have to look ahead to. It gives you a goal. And I think you're doing great. Now, you had informed me when you sent me your note with your closet review that you have been poshing for about 90 days. So I just want everyone actually to just have a reminder of that. This is a very relatively new closet. We'll talk about exactly when you started in a second because that'll come up too, but you said that you've been selling for about 90 days, which is great. So you've already started taking a lot of the things that I talk about into account, which is awesome. Obviously, increase your listings if you want to make more sales. I'm not sure if you're making daily sales at this point, but it seems like you're doing a pretty consistent 5 or so perhaps. And so if that's the case and you're able to do, 7, start doing a consistent 7. Once that starts working out for you for a week or so, then start doing a consistent 10 if that's possible. And the slowly increasing is where you'll find success. I find that unless you're just going to do a burst because you got 20 items in and you want to list all 20 items and it's like an extra bonus 20 items, that certainly can't hurt. But if you're looking to build up your daily listing habit, I recommend doing it in small increments because it does take time to get used to the amount of time it takes. It also takes time to make sure that you are finding the right items to put in your closet, and it also takes money to buy those items. And so you don't want to shock yourself by doing too fast. So if you go from 5 listings to 7 listings to 10 listings to 12 listings to 15 listings, things like that. I'm working on something that I've been using in my business. I don't have it in the Etsy shop yet, but it's going to be like a daily listing habit tracker, and not so much like, oh yay, I check it off because I listed an item, but more like keeping track of it while you're doing your measurements and photographs and listings. So I'm working on that. Once I've kind of gotten it the way I want it to use for myself, then that's when I'll make it pretty and release it to everyone else. So for those that may be interested in that, or for you, keep that in mind to help you kind of build that daily listing habit. So that sounds good. I think that you're doing great with that. It seems like you're being pretty consistent. For your shares, you're at 2,000 shares. I think you need, again, 5,000 shares to be a Poshmark ambassador. So, I think it's great to be a Poshmark ambassador. I think it's good to have that in your pocket. I don't think it's do or die. So if you just want to get to it when you get to it, that's fine. I do think when you're newer, community shares do help overall because people will share back. Not everyone, but some people. You'll get followers from it. You'll just get other activity. And when you're new, you can use all the activity you can get. So definitely, maybe make a little goal for yourself to do 50 community shares a day or 100 community shares a day, or every time you share your closet, you go and share 10 at the end of other people's. Like, make a little habit for yourself that works for you and isn't too intrusive into your life, and eventually you'll rack up those shares. But I do think you should do some of it, but you don't necessarily have to go crazy with it. That also leads into followers. You're at 5,000 followers with 1,700 following, give or take, which is awesome because that means that you're not going crazy following. And I think that's good to a degree. I think that following closets, especially new, just joined, fresh closets, is the biggest bang for your buck when you're following. So if you were ever going to do following, maybe you're just watching TV, or you're waiting in line at the supermarket, or waiting in line at your car to pick up groceries, because now during the pandemic, nobody's going into a supermarket. I don't know. Whenever you have a minute, go ahead and share some of your items. Go ahead and follow some people. Make little bursts of activity, kind of part of your normal. That's what I do, and the only reason I do it is because I've had Geo for all of this time, obviously, since I've been a posher, and so I've had to squeeze things in where I can. But if you're just trying to kind of make new habits for yourself, whenever you have a down minute, try to follow some closets. Whenever you have a down minute, try to share some items. That little activity adds up over time, and it builds habits. And so while I don't think you should necessarily set out in your day to follow 10,000 closets or to follow before doing other sales generating activities, I do think that in the beginning, getting more followers by following can only help you. But I do think you should focus on listing first, then sharing your items first, then maybe following, and then maybe community shares. That's kind of the rank order that I would probably put them in. It can't hurt to have more followers. It can only help. Don't go crazy with it. But I do think when you're new, more is always better. I do have a video that I put in here for you, and for those it'll be linked down below, on how to get more Poshmark followers, all the things that I have done, all the things that I do to increase my followers. Now I'm gonna almost be at about 400,000, which I'm excited. So I'm hoping to get to 500,000 by the end of the year, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. We'll see. Last active. So you were recently active. Let me see in your about section. When I had looked at it this morning, you were, recently active from the evening before. You're last active this hour, so I knew that wouldn't be an issue. That is good. You need to be active in the app. Shows the buyers, shows them that you're there, can answer their questions. They have faith that you'll ship out their item quickly. It just builds buyer confidence. I do have a video on boosting buyer confidence, and that will be linked down below. And if you haven't watched it yet, Kathy, go ahead and check that out. You're already doing some of those things, so perhaps you have seen it. But if not, there's lots of other good tips in there. For your love notes, you've received 28, which is great. You've given 13, which is awesome. So probably, as we look over here, you've been a posher since August of 2016. But like I said, when you sent me your closet review request, you had said you've been doing this for 90 days. So what I think that means, probably, I'm inferring and assuming, is that you were on, signed up, maybe never did anything, or on, were just a buyer, never did anything as a seller, and now you're just deciding to start selling, and you're kind of 90 days into that. So that's great. I think having a longer history can only help you, and you have received some at this point. So you're not really brand new anymore, like where you only have one love note or no love notes. So I think you're in a good spot, because you're starting to really hone in on these good things to do, making these good improvements to your closet where, you're going to be a seasoned seller in no time. So I think you're on the right track completely. Average ship time, average ship time 1 day, which is great. So keep that up, keep shipping same day if you can. If you have to ship next day, that's fine. But try to keep it same or next day for as long as you possibly can, so that you build up that track record of having fast shipments, and keep that with Poshmark. That will be really good and will pay off over time. So if you ever do want to take a vacation, you kind of have that built up. Also, I don't think I mentioned up here before. So you do have, which I love and what I recommend, 100 plus sales, 5-star items shipped daily. Awesome, awesome, awesome. This is what I highly recommend. You can put other things in there, but my thing right now is all about building buyer confidence, building buyer trust, letting them know what to expect from you as a closet, letting them know that you're taking this seriously. I can't tell you how many times I've been a buyer, bought something, and nothing happened for a week. So frustrating. So at least if you let them know right up front in your info line, plus you have the stats here to back it up if they want to verify that you've gotten 100 plus sales, you have 5-star reviews. I would say, 5-star period or 5 stars. I don't know. That could just be a nitpicky thing, whatever you think. Items shipped daily. I wonder if you could even put the emoji star in there, and that would save you a couple characters in case there was anything else you wanted to put in there. I don't know. So yes, 100 plus sales, 5-star items shipped daily. I think that is great, great, great. Posher since I did. Okay, closet signs. Yay, my new favorite topic. So I'm super into closet signs right now. I've always talked about how you should have a bookmark sign. I've always talked about having, signs for your sales. What am I doing? And different things. So I'm definitely into closet signs right now. However, my last closet review that I did, I actually suggested to the woman that I was going to be making closet signs and having them available as a new product in my Etsy store. And I'm just starting to design them right now. I designed a free set for her just to kind of test it out and see. So she was my guinea pig. I have the first set almost complete and the listing is almost ready in the Etsy store as of today. I don't know when this is going to go live. I'm actually backed up on closet reviews, not of doing them, but of them going up on the YouTube channel. So I'm keeping up with them, but they're not necessarily being shown, as quickly, just given my YouTube schedule. So when you see this, I may actually already have it up. So check out down below the link to the Etsy store if you're interested in getting closet signs, not necessarily you, Kathy, but those that are out there watching, or you too as well. But I'm starting to put closet signs and all of my recommendations for closet signs in the Etsy store. So I'm super into it because I do think it's a great way to visually communicate with your buyers. Like, not everyone's going to look at your info line, but someone will probably always see a closet sign in one way, shape, or form, whether it's in the feed when you're sharing it, whether it's when they land on your closet after they've clicked in from an item and they're going to go see what else is going on in your closet. Maybe they followed people and they just landed on your closet. Like, there's several ways that people find the top of your closet. And so having that bookmark sign there is like one of my biggest recommendations. So I have a link in the summary that you get to mine so you can see what I do. I like a very minimal kind of thing. So mine is very text-based and not super cutesy, but I recognize that people like super cutesy. And so I am designing super cutesy ones. You can do whatever you want. It can be this thing with, instead of it being Meet the Posher, it could be, bookmark my closet. And that's what you have at the top as your first listing. And it can just give some additional stats where you could put some text here. You can make it in over or typorama. I have a link here to the video that I did to show how to create signs. Again, or you can purchase mine when I have those available. But something to welcome people. And then you can reiterate 100+ sales, 5-star reviews, items shipped daily, smoke-free, pet-free home, or all of those packaged with care, professional seller, all these types of things that add buyer confidence. You can add that here and then have that in the front and center. So that's what they see when they get there. So that's closet bookmark sign. Now, you have a sale, and it was all the way down. You have a 3 for $15 sale, and you have a 3 for $25. So, ooh, looks like you had some sale. Ooh, look at you. Nice. I saw those yesterday. Oh, or no, I keep saying yesterday because it feels like it was this morning. It's this morning at 4 a.m. Oh my God. But I saw those and I was like, good for you. That's great. Good for you. It was all the way down. Sorry, I don't mean to waste everybody's time. You have so many listings for being a newer Posher. It's great. And we'll talk about like the overall stuff in a minute, but okay. Here we go. So here's your 3 for $25. Now I'm on my computer, so I don't know. You probably have some kind of emoji here. I'm not sure what it is, but that's great. Here it is, sunflower. So it's great that you have this in the title. That's fine. But what I was going to say is you could make a closet sign and have it also at the top of your store that says 3 for $25 sale or 3 for $15 sale. I would suggest / recommend that you make it just one. Like, have one sale kind of going on at one time. It's okay if you do different promotions. I have a few different promotions, like buy this with this or bundle and save and get free shipping. I have a few things going on in mine with like boutique items and stuff, but that's not like a major site-wide kind of thing. This is, you have all these items that are marked with the sunflower for 3 for $25, and then you did have some that were 3 for $15. So what I would recommend, as I'm just going on and on, is make a closet sign to advertise the sale. Have that as a listing. Okay, fine. Then you can have it in your title. I'm not like super big about putting that, but you can. I don't think it hurts anything. I just hate going in and editing them. That's why it drives me nuts. But have the emoji, fine. Then you could also put something at the bottom of the description if you wanted to. But what I also did that I had really good success with my last 5 for 25 sale was putting the listing that I made for the top of the closet, that graphic, in the listing of each item that was included instead of doing this. That's where I spent my time, because they would visually see in the listing that this listing is part of something else. And I did it for visual because they have to scroll down in order to see any information. And we know that sometimes people don't read things, so I figured if I put the sign, that would be more visual to them. Anyway, I had really good success with that last 5 for 25 sale after doing that. The other recommendation that I have is you can make, again, because you're so new at this point, this will serve you well all the way into the future, is if you make your sale hashtag. So let's say it's hashtag Fun Finds by Kathy sale, and you put that at the bottom of all of the listings that are in your sale. You could, and other people could, search for a listing by that hashtag. So instead of putting Free People Top in the listing search up here, they would put hashtag, what did I say? Fun Finds by Kathy sale, and all of your sale items would come together. Because as your closet gets bigger, it's harder for people to find all the sale things. And so if you put a hashtag on it, they can search for the hashtag, or you can, so it's easy to find all your stuff on sale. And they get pulled up by the hashtag. They're all in one search results screen, and then you can filter down from there. So then they can filter women, size 6, whatever, and they can just buy all the stuff in your sale. So I don't know, that's just my new kind of thing that I've slowly been talking about, is creating the hashtag for your sale so that people can find your items and you can find your items more easily, and then adding that listing visual in the actual listing that's on sale and as a separate listing to advertise the sale as well. I also have a free Facebook group where you can advertise your sale there. That's another reason to have a listing for it. So that's linked in here and down below. If you have any sale that you want to promote, just put your listing in there, and buyers can find sales and sellers can put sales in there. Let's see. I already talked about the bookmark sign and the overwrap. Okay, so perfect product mix. Let's get into it. So I think you've got, your basic bread and butter brands. You've got some boutique items, which I thought was interesting. I'm not sure, maybe you bought them on the wholesale market or what. Be careful with boutique. I've gotten burned on a lot of things. I'm doing well now with some, but you definitely want to be careful with boutique items. You've got a great mix of shoes, bags, casual, career, like all kinds of stuff. As far as occasion, I do think you skew a little smaller on the sizes. You did have a few plus size, but I didn't see as many, and I think you could perhaps do well with adding more plus sizes. I know that I've always expanded my closet, and whenever I did, it was with plus size items, and I always got a lot of sales from that. So I think adding some plus size might be great for you if that's something that you're interested in. I think, I don't know what your sourcing situation is, but trying to go for the more popular, more in demand, more trendy mall brands would be good. Ones that have a higher retail value, like an Anthropologie, like a J. Crew, things like that, because you do have a lot of popular brands and mall brands, but it's the American Eagle, it's the Hollister, and while those do sell, and that's fine, they're just not going to sell for as much. And so I do think, when you have a lot of the lower price point things, maybe those are doing well for you right now, like the Fabletics. Fabletics, and but it looks like you got good prices for it. Like that would be one that I would say is a good one. Athleta, if you want to do more in the athleisure area, obviously your Lululemon, things like that. Banana Republic is great, but then there's just, a lot of these lower end boutique-y types, and then the Hollister, you had a lot of Hollister, a lot of Aeropostale, a lot of Old Navy, and it does H&M. It doesn't mean it doesn't sell. It just doesn't sell for as much. So I feel like if you want to get more bang for your buck and for how hard you're working, you want to kind of steer clear of some of the lower end mall brands and go more along the higher end brands. I will tell you, I am all about the White House Black Market right now. For a while, there was a time where I wouldn't pick it up at all, even though I personally love it, but I feel like it has been selling great for me right now for decent money. I just happened to see that listing. So like in general, I'm not going to go into each one just for brand purposes, but I just feel like the brands themselves could be up leveled a little bit. So I don't know if it's you've been sourcing from your own closet, if just given everything that's going on, sourcing has been limited, or if you're just kind of not being a disciplined sourcer, in which case it's a hard thing to develop. I struggle with it even still, but you have to, because you're going to end up one day with 1,000 listings, 2,000 listings with things that didn't sell that aren't going to get you a lot of money, that you're constantly having to put on that 3 for $25 sale just to get it to sell, and it still might not even sell. So I don't want to be negative, but I do want to kind of forewarn you that you could start getting into that higher and higher, larger and larger closet size, and you have all this stuff. And that's where I found myself, and I was like, I'm never doing this again. So just be careful. Try to challenge yourself with the high-end brands. Look for $50 plus items if you can. Doesn't mean that you're going to get them all the time or that's the only thing that you should buy, but just try harder to find them specifically. Seek them out more specifically. Identify which ones those are more specifically, or what types of items. You know, maybe it's not, maybe you steer less towards skirts and go more towards jackets, things that inherently have a higher value perhaps, that are, even though they're a lower brand, you know, you're going to get more for a Hollister jacket because it's a jacket than you would for a whatever top because it's only a top. I don't know if I'm making sense. Let's see. You did have some Kate Spade, so you did have some good things, but you definitely want to just, the overall, you know, feel was skewed towards the lower end brands. Okay. I didn't see any prohibited items. Okay, so let's talk about photo presentation. First of all, I don't remember which one it was. I'm sure I'm never going to find it. But get a bottoms hanger. Oh, maybe it was the Fabletics. It was the Fabletics. Yes. It has clothespins. Come on. Okay, I know. Because I did see that you had some that did have bottom, like, get the ones that already have the clippies. I have a set that I ordered from Amazon. They're in my Amazon store. They're velvet hangers just like that, but they're pink, like a blush pink, and they have the clips, and they're the longest, closest plus size clip I could find, because I was going into Kohl's asking them for plus size hangers for a while because I could never find hangers that would fit plus size items. And then these ones that I purchased from Amazon are the longest ones that I could find. So I do recommend, if you can, invest in a set of nice matching hangers for the tops and for the bottoms. That way everything looks good. Now, I'm not so much a mannequin person. I'm a hanging person, but it's up to you. If you're going to do more with a mannequin or whatever, which, you know, she's beautiful, then that's fine. But you do some hanging, you do some flat lays, but then I keep seeing these clothespins and I'm like, oh, Kathy, come on. So let's get rid of the clothespins. Let's get a plus size, or not, I keep saying plus size, get a bottoms clip hanger so that looks nice. Take your photos in square mode. A lot of your photos are cut off. That is a big pet peeve of mine. Maybe you are doing it in square mode and you're just cutting it off, and that's a different story, but you need to be in square mode. If you have to be in a rectangle because it's a long item, then you take that and you do like this. Put it next to front and back, or put it on a white in like an app, like over app or something like that, so that you have the square without having this situation here where it's just cut off. I think there should be white space all around the image. And I have trouble finding it in your store. And I don't know if that's just a me visually thing, but like this is the closest to it, but even the hanger's cut off at the top and it's very close at the bottom here. You need a little bit of perspective. You need a little bit of plane around it so that they can focus in on what the item is. So I think that that's a big thing that I noticed. Just a lot of things were cut off. Like, I don't know how long this dress is. Like, you're saying it's a cocktail dress. I have no idea. That's a problem. So I think that you could really up-level your photos and your presentation, and for these items that you currently have, let alone anything you do in the future, if you just fix that cover photo to include, like, there's no reason for these to be cut off here. Like, yes, maybe that's not a big deal, but it just, does it look like you're hiding something? Does it look like you just weren't paying attention? Like, it's just not a professional appearance in my mind even though they're folded perfectly nice, if you're not showing the whole item. I'm gonna stop talking about that. So white space, square mode. So you have a few different like backdrops. Like sometimes it's with this window, sometimes it's on this. I don't know if this is a real brick space or if it's, pretend that people put items on. Then you have it this way, so maybe it is a backdrop. I'm a fan of just a white backdrop. I think a white backdrop is just fine. But you have a few different types of things. I'm seeing this one more. Actually, let's look at your Justin and see what's the most recent. But I feel like a plain wall is what you need. Even if it's not white, a plain wall is better than busyness. Justin. Okay. Nope, the window. Okay. So decide. And are you lugging this mannequin all around your house? What are you doing? So let's just try to, again, there's nothing wrong with this, but also the light is going to be an issue here with this dress because you have the light behind you coming in from the window coming at you. You want it to be coming at the thing. So that is already going to be a problem. You might want to do the Pick Tap Go app to edit and brighten. Use the lights on or bright side filter so that you can, have it brightened. Like this is like going down. So just really take a look at I think it's composition. I don't know. I'm not a photography person, but the composition of what's going on in the photo when you take it, at least for the cover photo, if not for all of them, because you're just doing yourself a disservice. You bought the item, you paid the money, you took the measurements, maybe we'll talk about that in a second. You're taking the photos, you're, going to pack it up when it sells, hopefully. But if it doesn't sell, you've done all that work and all you had to do was just have a nice cover photo and that might have really helped it along. So that's how I feel like if I'm going to go through all the trouble of taking photos, I want that cover photo to be as perfect as it possibly can be the first time. Then throw it in the Pick Tap Go app, bing, bang, boom, 2 seconds, and it looks great. So that's my thought there. You don't have to have a lighting kit. You can go with daylight, but you just have to figure out, it needs to be on your item, not coming from behind the item. So even if you're not at the point where you want to make any investments, though if you do, check out my Amazon link and you can get the lights that I have, which are the box lights. And I do have a ring light in there. I don't use the ring light, but it is in there if that's something you want to buy. I did buy it. I tested it and I sent it back. It just wasn't for me. But I know a lot of people do like it. So I just think lighting and the composition of the photos is probably going to be a big area for you. We talked about that. Number of photos. Now let's see, because these are the newly listed, what you're doing here. Yes. Okay. So there are a couple more photos in here than previous because I could not find a tag photo on many of the items that I looked into earlier, but I like to look at the oldest listings and then I look at the newest listings to see if you've changed anything. See if you've changed your ways, Kathy. So in this one, there's a tag picture, which is great. Now it's just the brand and size tag. There's no fabric tag. Did you say that? You didn't say that. So you have no fabric listed here, but you have no picture of the fabric tag. Major issue because I don't know what is going on with this. I don't know if there's stretch to it. I don't know if there's no stretch. I don't know if it's polyester. I don't know if it's silk. I don't know what it is. That's important. And plus somebody's going to ask you and then you're going to have to go and look, and what a pain in the neck. Just tell them up front. Plus it saves you time. It saves you effort and energy. It gives them all the information. So if it's 3 a.m. and they're shopping because they can't sleep, they don't want to have to not buy it because they don't know what the fabric is. You want to give them every chance to buy. You want to take away every objection that they can possibly have. So, oh, I can't buy it. I don't know what the material is. Oh, I can't buy it. But if you had it in there, you could say, well, I have all the information. It looks good. Everything's good. $20. Bam, I'm going to buy it. Like, you want to give them every reason to buy. Don't give them any reasons not to buy. So it's a pretty dress. Valerie Bertinelli. You need the fabric tag and the material content tag and the care tag. That is what I would recommend. And maybe some more pictures. Can't hurt. We get 16 now. I would always include more pictures. Green maxi dress, size 10. You don't have to put size. I'm skipping ahead of myself, but you don't have to put the word size. You don't need to do that. So I think you're starting to get a semblance of a template going, because I did see this a little bit different than some prior. Is this new with tags? Okay. It's not new with tags. Okay, because when you put MSRP, that kind of makes me feel like it's new with tags, but it's not. But that's okay because you didn't say it was, so that's fine. Pre-owned in a smoke-free home. So let's talk about this. I'm clearly not following my notes. Pre-owned, great. Smoke-free home is fine. I don't put it. I feel like it just, once you say it, now it's in their mind. So I feel like I don't say it, and someone can ask me, and then I can say, nope, smoke-free home. Or if they ask me pet-free, I say my items are kept in a warehouse, which is pet-free. So things like that, if they ask me, but I don't like to allude to it at all. So, but it doesn't give any note about condition whatsoever. Like, you didn't say there aren't any flaws, and you didn't say it was in excellent condition, good condition, great condition. You just said it was pre-owned. You didn't say it was gently used. So I feel like you're leaving a little bit out there. I think great, good is all subjective, but I think that you've got to say something about there not being any flaws, or at least say it's in great conditions. I think you could do one step up from what you are doing, but I like that you're saying pre-owned, and if you want to keep smoke-free home, that's fine. And again, because then people see smoke-free, pet-free, so you're saying smoke-free, which means there's probably a pet because you didn't say pet-free, and now that's a reason where I'm like, is there dog hair all over it? Whereas if you didn't say it at all, and I didn't think to ask you, now it's never addressed and never needed to be addressed. That's my thought. Cinched waist. Okay. Vibrant green colors, keyhole back with ties, line cinched waist. There's a, it's like a, it's chevron, but there's like another, I don't know if it's ombre. I don't know. When I'm doing keywords, it's hard for me to do it off the cuff. I have to sit and like be quiet and I look up things. So don't mind me when I don't have keywords off the top of my head, but you probably could add some more keywords. One thing I'm not seeing in here, Kathy, is measurements. Where are the measurements? You need measurements. That's one of those big things about building buyer confidence, giving them every reason to buy, not giving them a reason not to buy, or leaving it upon them to ask you. I'd love to be the person that doesn't put measurements, but I like making sales. And so whether people use the measurements or not, they're there. And I think that does help. And so I'm always going to tell everyone that does a closet review with me to have clothing measurements. So definitely you need to be putting measurements in here. You can add some more keywords. And then you should know at this point, if you watch that buyer confidence video where you put everything in the top of your closet, go back. Again, you have a lot of listings, but you don't have enough compared to where you're going to be in the future if your items don't sell and you keep buying. So now's the time to do it. Go in and add a confidence line, so that you can say, professional seller, packaged with care, offers welcome, heart for price drops, ship same next day, bundle and save. All of those things you can put inside your listing as well to reiterate to your customers that you are a good seller. They should buy from you. They should skip buying from someone else. So that's that. For your pricing, sorry, because I went all over the place and now I'm not looking at my notes. So I like to do all of my brain power things early in the morning because the later in the day it goes, my brain doesn't work. So your pricing overall, I felt overall was high for some of the things, because again, earlier I said that your items kind of skewed to the boutique or a lesser known name brand or a lesser retail value brand. And so based on that, overall, I thought your prices were higher. There were some items that were priced just fine. I think you need to let your solds guide you specifically, and I think you need to do some comp checking and get in a good habit of doing some comp checking because you want to see what the solds are. I think $20 for this dress is fine. I think $30 for Talbots can be okay. It could be hit or miss. If you're leaving a lot of room to do price drops and things like that, then that's fine. I don't know that you're going to get 30. You might. That's okay. Havoc. Don't get me started on that brand. LA Hearts 15. That's fine. Old Navy 26. 23 for Hollister, but then you have new with tags J. Crew shorts at 15. So I'm befuddled. I thought that the 55 for Fabletics leggings was high, but good for you. Maybe they did a bundle, but otherwise you got it. So that's good. This one, 32 for this. I think this is kind of high. 23 for the Hollister, I think is high. So, you know, it's jeans maybe could be 20, 24. I don't know. I would have to check the solds on Hollister. I don't often sell it. Sold on another platform. Why is it here? I just noticed that. This should not be here. If it's sold on another platform, you should delete this listing. Eyeshadow 12, that's fine. Hollister 12, that's fine. So you know, I don't want to get stuck in like looking at every single one, but I do think that overall I thought from the ones that I looked at, the pricing was generally high. And the thing is that you have to know that not everyone is going to make you an offer. So if you are actively sending out offers to likers, then I think it's okay if you're priced a little high because you're in control of sending out the offers and you're going to send them out frequently. And so you know eventually if somebody likes your item, they're going to get that offer. If you actively participate in closet clear out every time you're dropping prices, then yes, leave them high because eventually you're going to be dropping them. I don't actively participate in closet clear out, but I do send a lot of offers to likers. So that's why I'm okay sometimes with having a higher price because I know I'm going to be sending possibly even up to a 30% off offer. And so I know that that's built in. So I don't want to, I should preface, or I should say, it's not preface because I didn't say it before, but I should say that if that's part of your practice, then having the higher prices is okay. But do keep in mind that there's a portion of people that just want to buy. They don't want to make an offer and they may not have the time to wait for your, offer to liker or closet drop or whatever. So it's kind of like a two-edged sword. I'm only bringing all of it up so that you think about it and you have a plan of what you want to do. And once you're comfortable with that, do that and then do it for a while. And then if you want to change it because it may or may not be working for you, then you tweak it. But if you don't have a plan, and maybe you do, I don't know. But if you don't have a plan, I think you should get one together, starting by pricing more accurately towards the sold. And then if you want to inflate from there to allow for the offers to likers and things like that, then you could, because you are starting to collect listings. And so it's going to take you longer and longer to send out offers on your whole closet. That's probably one of my biggest pet peeves. It used to be sharing, and sharing is a pain in the neck, but now my biggest pet peeve is sending out offers to likers on my whole closet. It's so helpful and it's definitely worth doing, but man, does it take a long time. So, that's the only thing with pricing is if you're pricing high because of you're doing those things actively, then forget what I said. But if you're not, then I think you're a little high. Overall, I did think your titles were strong. I thought you had good order, good keywords. Like I said before, I don't think you need to write out size. You could put SZ to save some characters. You don't even need to have it at all. You can just put M for medium. You just don't need to have all of that. If there's something else you want to say, like chunky knit or stripe or boat neck or other things that you want to put in there, you can save those characters for something else. But there were a couple listings where I'm like, oh, she's missing some keywords. Let me make sure to tell her that. And they weren't in your title. And then I clicked into the listing and they were in your description. So I will say it looks like you're making an effort to include a lot of keywords. And I think you should. And I think that's a great thing. So I did want to applaud you on that because I thought in general, your keywording was pretty good. Let's just see what you got on this one. Just curious. Sleeveless. V-neck. So it might be a split neck. Geometric cotton, midi. Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of great things in there, so I'm super happy with that. You've got the tag picture. Again, that's good. We got to rotate that sucker, Kathy. Come on, make it easy for the people. Make it look nice. Give them a reason to buy from you. Don't give them a reason not to buy from you. Keywords. Okay. And for those that are watching at home, if you're looking to boost your keyword game, I did release a keywords list. That's probably maybe how Kathy found me. I did a video, keywords that sell. That's going to be linked down below. I've got really great feedback on that video. I shared a bunch of keywords in that video, but then I do have a keywords list that you can buy from the Etsy shop as well. And that's more of like a cross-check thing. Like sometimes and I said this in the last video, like you look at an item and you're like, I have nothing left to say about this item. that's when you need a keywords list because you could just go down and be like, oh, it has it. Okay, it doesn't have that. It does have that. And you don't forget anything. If you're like me, you forget everything. Description length. I thought your descriptions were simple. I think if you add measurements, if you add the buyer confidence line at the bottom, I think if you add anything like the sale hashtag or some additional keywords, it'll start to bulk up a little bit. And then it would be like a perfect and complete template. I think right now you're on a really great start with it. You've got a lot of keywords in there. You've got it organized and it's simple. So that's a good start. But I do think you need to add some additional things in there, like I said earlier. I do have a listing template video. So if you haven't seen that, Kathy, I would recommend looking at that because that has more specific tips than what I'm saying right now, just because I've already said it, and you can easily check out that video for all the tips. They would apply here for you. For those at home, you can check that out yourself as well. Description, format, we just talked about that. The condition we talked about, measurements, buyer confidence, information, we talked about that, and I do have the video. So your solds, yes, okay. What am I doing? I'm so brain dead right now. I'm very sorry, guys. I really do apologize for you, Kathy, and for the people watching at home, but I don't want to get backed up on closet reviews, so I want to keep up with them. But when you get up at 4 in the morning, everything starts to slow down in the afternoon. So let's see. So the Fabletics was great. So here you go. You've got 13 on this. You've got 9 on the Old Navy. You've got 15 on the White House Black Market. 18 on the Adidas. Soma at 25, which is good. Athleta at 15. So here's my thing. When you treat your listings and treat yourself and treat your closet like it's a professional thing, and I'm not saying you're not, but when you up level that professionalism by having white space, having the entire photo in there, making sure that everything is as perfect as it can be, you can get more money for your items. And so, I think that the ones that sold are some of the ones that look the better in your store. And so that's telling you something, because like this one's against the black, like there's more here. There's a reason why they're buying these particular items. They're brighter. There's more white space around them. The item looks the best. Some of them are stock photos. So I think that there's a lot to it. But also look at the prices, like $8, $10, you're not getting the prices that you're listing them for. So if that's your whole point, like you're going to list it here knowing it's going to be down here, then that's okay. I just wanted to kind of bring it up. $24 for connected apparel. Good for you. That's great. I just wanted to bring it up because, if you have these American Eagle shorts listed at 24 and you're getting 12, that's okay. You're making $9. That's fine. Hopefully your cost of goods is lower than that and you're good there and you're still making profit. But maybe you could have gotten 19 or maybe 15 or what, I'm just saying, like, you could perhaps command more if the whole overall look and feel was of a higher value. And I think that a lot of the stores that I've been looking at recently, it does look like a person that just, took the photo of the stuff that's in their closet. And that's what Poshmark was meant for. But if you are trying to make a business out of it, then you can't be the person that looks like you're selling out of your closet. If you're trying to be a business and make a legitimate money and consistent daily sales and doing it professionally, even if it's part-time, but doing it professionally, consistently, legitimately, you need to treat it that way. You can't ride from both sides. So that's just my point there, is that look at your sold, see what's selling, see what it's selling for. What are the trends as far as the kinds of items that are selling? Obviously, you're selling a lot of shorts right now. But, what kinds of pictures are getting you the sales? Do you have measurements in any of these listings? Do you have some of the newer information that you've been adding to your listings, or are these older listings? Because I don't even see, there's not many that are even on your sale. That you have your 3 for $25 sale. So you might not be having so much luck with the here's one. And they might have just bought it outright. They might not have even bought it at the 3 for $15. You don't know. So anyway, my point with this was just to kind of pay attention to your solds, let them guide you. Then last shared, I'm pretty sure you shared pretty frequently, because when I looked at it this morning, oh, that's a sold. you had shared pretty frequently. Let's see. Updated an hour ago. Fantastic. So you're doing great. On that, answering questions. So one of the things that I try to look for, because I have like a rubric of things so I don't forget of things to check in on a closet review. Things that I want to make sure that I cover, that I'm doing my due diligence to check into the overall health of your closet. And I looked on so many listings to find questions, and I couldn't find any questions in every single listing that I looked, and I even looked at older ones, which I was so surprised. Usually you run into at least 1 or 2 listings that have questions, and that's where I can say, uh-oh, you're not answering your questions, or oh, you are, and you're not being very nice, or, you know, like my whole point with it is you should be answering questions, you should be nice and professional, you should answer them relatively quickly. But on yours, I couldn't find any questions. So I don't know if you're just not getting any questions, which is great because I feel like I get a million questions. But if you do get questions, I feel like, Kathy, you're the kind of lady that's going to answer them quickly and professionally. Bundle discount. You have a bundle discount on. I believe it's 10%. Yep, 10% off of 2. That's great. Totally fine. I do 20. Completely up to you. You can play around with it, see if that's something you might want to do. And so that's kind of the main, all of it. I do want to give some final impressions, and that is basically for 1.5 months, for 90 days of, no, what am I saying? I wrote 1.5 months. This is what happens when you get up at 4 in the morning. 90 days is 3 months. Okay, math, hello. So when you've been selling for 3 months, that's still relatively new. I think you are doing a great job for 3 months in of taking it seriously, for the fact that you purchased the keywords list or whatever you purchased the closet review and one other item from my Etsy store. I forget what it was, but I think it was the keywords list. So you're investing in yourself in resources that are going to make you better, especially the closet review, because you're looking for specific tips to help improve your closet. I can already see that you've taken some of the recommendations that I've made in prior videos and implemented them in your closet. So you are on the right track by taking criticism, making improvements, doing the right things. I think there's only so much a person can do in a day, and you have some more to do. I think the big things that you should focus on right away is the photo situation. And it's not so much that you have to go back and change the photos you have, though I think if you're gonna do it, now's the time to do it, because the more listings you add and the bigger your closet gets, the harder it's going to be. But I think you need to figure out what is your picture taking situation. Like, you need a system, you need a go-to, a space that is your picture taking space, and a way that your picture should look at the end. I have a dedicated space. I mean, I'm lucky I have a reselling room, but I didn't always. I had multiple. I used to do it in my garage. I used to do it in my front foyer area. I used to do it in my guest room. I always had different places. I would have to set it up and break it down every time, and got very time consuming. And then I finally was like, husband, I need the office to be my reselling room. If you can't do that, that's fine. But I always had a consistent place. Even if the setup wasn't there all the time, I had a consistent place so that my photos looked the same every time. It was always a blank wall. It wasn't always full white, and now I use white photo paper and I have like an eggshell colored wall, but I wanted the very white paper. And I think white, if not clear. So if it's like this gray wall, fine, use the gray wall, but then have nothing else in it. Like, even here, there's part of your, the molding, that's no good. Down here, your outlet, no good. Like, if you can just find one spot where there's light coming in, or invest in the lights, and you can get them for like $50. It's not a lot. You just need a space where you can make that clear, crisp, bright photo happen over and over and over again. And these will eventually fade away. But if all of your new ones start going in the direction of that, and then when you have some time, maybe 1 or 2 a week, 1 or 2 a day, you can go back and pull the item, rephotograph it, change out the cover photo when it's time to relist it perhaps. Then you'll start having an overall consistent look in your closet. And even if no one looks at your whole closet and gets that it's consistent, at least that one standalone image is professional. Then when they do look at your whole closet, then they see, okay, she's not just throwing it on the floor and doing a flat lay. Like, clearly you're not, because you do have things hanging, you have them on a mannequin, you are making an effort, and that can be seen. But I do think that there are some, even still this one, you know, they're cut off. You need to show the whole thing. You need some white space. So I think your photo situation has got to be the highest of priorities. And then I think measurements is your next priority, because I think that's important. And I think that up-leveling your sourcing could probably be the next focus after that. Because once you get your listing template and your photography situation squared away, that's just replicate. Like, you're just going to repeat that over and over again. So there's not much thought that needs to go into it after that. You just rinse and repeat. But your sourcing, you're going to always constantly have to be working on that. So I think those are my 3 areas for you to work on for sure. Obviously, all the tips that I mentioned. Oh, I can't believe I forgot about this. This sign right here. I'm just not a fan of reasonable offers accepted. It's completely up to you. It's my personal preference. I think it's off-putting. I did mention that in here, but again, you saw I skipped, I was skipping around with my notes. But reasonable offers, I think it's off-putting. Offers welcome, offers accepted, make me an offer. I love offers. Don't be shy, make me an offer. Things like that. Say that. Don't say reasonable offers. I mean, if you want to keep it, it's completely up to you. But I think that reasonable offers is off-putting, because there are some people that are so hesitant to making offers. There are some people that would never make an offer. You want to make them feel as welcome as possible, because they might think that their offer is not reasonable, and it might be $5 off. Like, you have no idea. So by you saying reasonable, that just gives someone, again, a reason not to do something when you want to give them every reason to do something. So that's my thought. That's my final thought. Kathy, thank you so much for purchasing a closet review. It was great to review it. I hope that a lot of these things work out for you. I hope you start implementing them. I feel like you will. So thank you so much. Definitely stay in touch. For those that are watching at home, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do, so we can hang out again. Most of the time, I am more with it. No, maybe not. But I do appreciate everyone watching. Subscribe, like this video, and comment on your way out. And if you're interested in purchasing a closet review, go ahead and find that link down below. Thanks so much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.